red sun rises. Blood has been spilled this night.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This video is going to be a random video, as random as that intro, but as a big Lord of the Rings nerd, I can never let a good red sunrise go to waste. But to tee you up on what this video is going to be about, I have a buddy Danny, Gun DMC, I'll link to him down below and stuff, that has been my friend. We met, I think, through Instagram like 5 years ago probably, when we were both kind of starting out. And hit it off, and then met up in person at SHOT Show or something. He's out from Washington. I have some family out there. I'm there from time to time, so I visited him and some friends out there a couple times. Anyway, he is also friends with Talon, and I'm friends with Talon obviously, and Talon just kind of moved out to Colorado and got settled, and Danny was like, I'm gonna take a trip out and visit my homies. So he came out. Unfortunately, it was kind of bad timing for me because I had to do this road trip. But I was like, I gotta do this road trip. You're welcome to come. Do you wanna come to Utah on this road trip? And we were originally gonna take I-70, and it's a beautiful drive up through the mountains and Aspen and Vail and all that stuff. There's a big mudslide that wiped out the whole road, and it closed down like a day before. So we had to take a lamer road trip. So this road trip wasn't quite what I wanted, but it was still good. So anyways, Danny came on this road trip. The primary reason for the road trip was this bike right here. This gorgeous machine from Ferzari. This is the Ferzari Wire Peak. So I've been talking to Ferzari for a bit. They reached out. They're like, hey, we know you're into adventure and mountain biking actually, and we have this bike that we think you'd be stoked on. And I was like, I think I would be stoked on it. So they're waiting for some components to come in. So it's been kind of a while in the making, but they finally built it. They're out in Utah as well, and kind of custom bike manufacturer. So they were like, we'd love you to come out, check out the bike, make sure it fits well, see our operations, hang out for a bit. So that was the motivator of the trip. But I know a lot of people have a lot of friends and a lot of kind of company networks out in Utah. So I was like, all right, I'll just like make a little trip out of it. And very last minute, spur of the moment, Danny was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I checked with Ferzari and they were available. And then on the drive out, I kind of hit up a few other friends and companies and stuff that I was like, hey, I'm gonna be out there in like a day. And a few of them were available, some of them were not. So this is kind of that trip. And then one other thing is Pilot, Flying J, the Pilot and Flying J, the travel centers, the gas stations, the truck stops, whatever you want to call them. They actually reached out a while back and wanted to sponsor some road trips. They're like, hey, we know you take a lot of trips and we could probably help out there, so let's work together. A couple of the trips I was gonna do got canceled, and so this one was one I was like, hey, let's do it. So we stopped at a couple of them, and they're a cool destination for me personally. I drive a fair bit, interstate travel and whatnot, and I try to stop as infrequently as possible. So you gotta stop, you gotta get gas, you gotta use the bathroom, you gotta eat. Those are kind of the main reasons that I need to stop. And it's great when I can just do that at one place. So I can just pull up to a Pilot Flying J. I know they have gas, obviously. I know they have like the cleanest bathrooms that you can have, and there's enough room. I'm not sitting there waiting on someone else that's taking a legendary dump. But also, in addition to gas and bathroom breaks, you usually need food. A lot of times you stop, and then you're like, oh, well, a gas station, I gotta find a food. What do you want to eat? Well, let's go, and we gotta drive, and we gotta make another stop. Pilot Flying J has great food as well, so a lot of it they cook fresh daily, and they were really stoked for me to try their chicken sandwiches. I was like, I love chicken sandwiches. So we stopped, they had a chicken sandwich that I got, and it was delicious. So if you're ever looking for a one-stop shop to do all your road trip travel, essentially, obviously they have, you know, your energy drinks and your phone chargers. They got everything there, you know. But they sponsored this video, so huge shout out to them. Thank you very much. We were able to hit them a couple times actually along the journey. So yeah, basically we got out there. and I hit up a couple friends. Some people will ask, because I know Fieldcraft recently moved out to Utah. So Mike Glover is a buddy of mine. He was out of town, unfortunately, so I didn't link up with him. Another buddy of mine, Jack Carr's out there. He was out of town, so I wasn't able to link up with him. But I was able to link up with a handful of other friends out there, so it was a good time, and you'll see that in this video. So in addition to Ferzari, we stopped at Cool. Cool has this sweet company rig. They call it the Mule, and it's like an old LMT light military truck that they have modded. So I kind of hit them up last moment because they're out in Salt Lake area, their headquarters. And I was like, hey, could I do a walk around of that rig? And the two guys that I talked to mostly at Cool were both out of town, unfortunately. And they're like, oh man, also the Mule is out of commission. It's at the shop right now. We're getting a few things modified on it because they're taking it out on a trip to Steamboat, actually. Anyway, they're like, but stop by. We have these like dope chefs and just see the facility. So we stopped by Cool as well after Ferzari, and then we just kind of headed home. And that was the trip. That's this road trip, super random. I'll talk a tiny little bit more at the end, but let's just kind of get into this. Well, I'm in Talon's garage for another episode of Stuff and Things. So here's Talon. Here's our friend Danny, who got in late last night and is visiting for a little bit. And Talon just moved into his new house like a week ago. So we're here checking out all his toys. And
I think you gotta get a motorcycle next.
Yeah, I'll try to reconvince Ashley.
She's not gonna like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will. I don't know. I kind of want an electric one. I mean, even on Eco, it feels pretty good.
Oh, it's got some pepper in there.
Don't say that, because now everyone's gonna be like, yo, where's the bike at?
Maybe. Anyway, we're about to roll out on a little road trip out to Utah. And we gotta get going. So I'll sync up in a sec. All right, so we're here in Wyoming at Pilot Flying J, who is the sponsor of this video, actually. So huge shout out to them. Danny needed to go do a number 2, and I told him Pilot has the cleanest bathrooms around. So he's in there taking care of business. I'm filling up. We're gonna run in, grab some snacks. I just posted on Instagram, tell us your best snacks. So I'm gonna review that, pick up some stuff, and continue on and kind of update you. But I-70 was closed, so normally to get out to Utah, I'm going to Salt Lake, would take I-70, it's a beautiful drive. I wanted to take Danny on it because he's out visiting. Instead, we're driving through Wyoming, which I don't hate on Wyoming, but the drive on I-80 sucks. But we'll check in later. So we're right here, just in the parking lot. Grab a quick bite. They told me this was good, the Southern Chicken Sandwich. I think they said made fresh daily. So I got that baby to knock out. Got some potato wedges, some chicken tenders, some ranch, some drinks. You excited? Danny's excited for this gas station food. Road trip. Living the dream.
Living the dream.
What would you take, Crazy Raptor or Crazy Super Duty? Crazy Raptor? I don't know. Ethan's gonna stunt ride on the Zero.
It's like the easiest bike to ride. Throttle, brake. That's all you need to know.
Easy.
So there's no gears, no clutch, instant power, but I turned it down, so there's like modes. So I put it on eco mode, which like the torque delivery is a lot slower. You can turn it all the way up to like sport or custom, and it's like instant. 0 to 60 is like pretty much 3 seconds.
That rips.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like doable. You can keep the front down like that. Yeah.
And like, it's crazy because
Maybe some safety Nazis. It's so crazy that it's just silent.
Okay, so switch. Slowly give it gas and you can feel like it go. Okay. So nice and easy. Yeah.
I mean, even on eco, it feels pretty good.
Oh, it's got some pepper in there.
Sorry guys, I know someone's gonna say I should wear a helmet, and I should. I should wear a helmet. I'm sorry. Okay, see ya.
Like this guy dinner is probably the worst thing ever.
Yeah, you like vegan, gluten-free, everything?
Get pizza.
Oh, wait.
Like cauliflower cheese or something like that.
Cauliflower cheese. So these guys are setting up a shoot for motorcycles here that I can't show. I can show you this one, I was told. So these are Zero, but all these ones behind you here are like all the new Zeros. And they're sick. I just rode that one around. So this is some of the crew that did the Toyota stuff that was on my channel a while back, but they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff now. Can't show the bikes.
Blur them out. Blur the bikes out.
I'm at Ethan, Aaron, Cam's place. Ethan was running that Toyota thing that I did a while back.
That was like what, almost a year ago? Coming up on a year.
It's like a good year ago, probably. Yeah, so that's when I first met him. And he's like crazy extreme sports athlete and slash like filmmaker dude now,
Yeah.
doing really cool stuff.
We need to do some more stuff now.
Yeah. So he didn't really want me to talk about their production company.
We're still in the early stages.
But they basically have like, they do cool stuff with like Zero and all
Can-Am,
kinds
a
of
bunch
fun
of other,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can name drop companies, but if you need like extreme sports, high energy kind of, is that like good description?
Yeah, like high end, like high adventure cinema.
High end, high adventure cinema.
That's our program.
I'll put you in touch with him. But yeah, he's a Utah boy, and I was out and he was like, swing by.
Come over and come ride some Zeros, do some backflips.
And it was so fun, the Zero. I was so afraid I was gonna crash it, but they're awesome.
Dude, you killed it.
But we're gonna roll and continue our journey. So it's good seeing you guys.
Good luck.
Man. Peace out.
Always a pleasure.
Cameron.
I love you.
Love you too.
Hey guys, so checking back in. Yesterday was pretty much driving all day. Came out, and originally yesterday we were gonna go over to Ferzari headquarters. That's the main reason for the trip, coming out here to pick up a new bike they're building for me, an electric mountain bike. We're going right now, so I'll show you more on that in just a second. But yesterday we arrived a little bit too late. They were kind of closing, and I was like, I'd rather go when they're open and things are in action and everything. So we're heading over there now. And so yesterday we just swung by the guys that filmed, or a lot of the crew that filmed that Toyota thing I did a while back, which I'll link up here if you're interested. But Ethan and Cam and Mason and Tyler and then Aaron were all out there. So it was cool seeing them and what they're up to. And then we just went up to Park City to visit one of my other friends, Craig. Thanks for the hospitality. And we hung out there, and he was showing us just his big barn and gun rooms and wood shop, and it was incredible, and we had a few drinks. And then we ended up here at our hotel, and Danny and I just got up a bit ago and we're rolling out. So we're headed to Ferzari right now, so we'll show you around there. So we're here at Ferzari Bicycles. They generously had me out. I think we'll do a little tour. I'll see my bike they built and we'll get it kind of adjusted. And I'll kind of tell you a little more later, but I told him we'd be here a couple minutes ago, so we're just gonna head in. Hey, so Danny's behind the camera actually. This is a rare thing for me to have someone filming, but this is Jordan. He kind of heads up sales and marketing here at Ferzari. So we haven't been shown a tour, so he's just gonna kind of walk us around and talk a little bit about the company and kind of just show us what they got going on here.
Yep. Yeah, we are glad to have you guys, and it's been a while in the making. We were just talking, actually, I think you had a Ferzari years ago, right? So.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. Jordan reached out to me and he was like, hey, we're Ferzari bikes. We're kind of a direct-to-consumer. But I was like, I know all about you guys. My first like real mountain bike, it was like 12, 13 years ago, was a Ferzari. And that was when you were like really the new kids on the block.
Yep.
And now you're a little more established in the space and have an awesome space as well.
Been good. Yeah, it's been. We've seen a lot of growth in the bike industry in general, especially with COVID. I mean, everything has just boomed. Everyone's wanting to get outdoors and ride.
Like
and stuff.
apocalypse.
Yep. Yeah, we're going through the bike apocalypse.
Yeah.
But as Ferzari too, we've had some really cool, exciting stuff. We'll kind of show you guys around a little bit. If you were to kind of just wrap into a nutshell what makes Ferzari unique, it's custom quality direct. So. Chris Washburn was the founder behind the brand, and he started Ferzari. He actually has a really unique resume. He worked for Iacocca for a lot of years, kind of the automotive genius with the Jeep brand and the Ford brand and Chrysler and all that.
Yep.
And he became president of Iacocca's company after the automotive's career in electric bikes, ironically 20 plus years ago.
Okay.
And then from there, he actually started doing electric vehicles for the military. So he was traveling back and forth to Washington, D.C., 2 weeks at a time, back home on the weekends, and he just got sick of the corporate life and traveling and all that. But he had a passion for biking, for cycling, and started Ferzari. There was a niche in the industry where bikes were improperly fit. They were really, really expensive for the most part, overly priced, and the guarantee just wasn't there on a lot of them. So that's where custom quality direct fit in. In fact, a couple of these bikes here behind us actually we won back-to-back Bike of the Year awards, best bikes in the entire industry.
Okay.
Along with our road bikes too, which is cool.
Nice.
And then we sell it direct to consumers, so people save 30 to 40% off on their bikes.
So a lot of bikes are sold in bike shops. So a bike shop has a relationship with a certain brand, and then the bike shop can mark up the bikes because more hands need some money. Ferzari you ship all out of here.
Yep.
Huh? So it ships right from here to your door. So I have a bunch of custom sizing charts, and so you can dial in the fit of your bike exactly, and then just get it shipped right to you.
Yep.
And that's basically the model that you guys have had since I bought a bike over a decade ago, and it's still that model.
Yep. Yeah, we were kind of the ugly duckling at first. Everyone's like, dude, I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a bike without test riding it. And now in this Amazon age, everyone's, it's now a lot of brands are like, hey, how are you guys doing that? Like, we need to get on board with that. And
Yeah, so you guys were a little ahead of the curve in that regard.
Yep, we were kind of the pioneer of direct-to-consumer bike sales in the U.S., and it's been good. So cool.
And then they make e-bikes. So they have one that's called the Wire Peak, which is actually what I'm picking up today. So you guys, probably some of you know, I like to e-bike because it's much more fun. So Jordan or some of your team maybe was watching my channel and saw that, and they're like, hey, we got an e-bike that you might be interested in. So that's what we're here for, really.
And so all of our bikes, by the way, they're all named after local mountain ranges and peaks. So we've got bikes like the LaSalle Peak. It's named after the LaSalle mountain range that overlooks Moab, like the whole enchilada and the world famous riding. We've got Delano Peak. Wire Peak is named after the Wire Mesa down south. We try to really pay homage to the Utah terrain, and that's kind of our showroom theme as well. We're primarily, like you say, an online company. Most people don't even get to see us in person when they order their bike, but if you are in the area, like you are, you're welcome to come in and
so can they order online and pick up?
Yep.
In store.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So most of the bikes we ship all over the country.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the easiest way for most people.
And then if you're local, sounds like you could bring it in for service and stuff like that.
Yep. We've got a full service shop, so we are specialists in Ferzari bikes, but then we also, of course, we service all brands.
Okay.
We're not a full-fledged, we're a bike manufacturer, so we're not, our bread and butter is manufacturing, designing, engineering, and selling bikes. And so we have, being consumer direct, the blessing, and we kind of joke the curse of literally from the idea of a bike all the way to the end to where, it's a ton of work.
Yeah.
To where we're marketing the bike and then selling the bike and then after sales support, but we love it that way because we can make sure that the experience is up to our standards along the whole way. So a lot of this is Ferzari focused gear and stuff, where we've got apparel brands and gear brands and stuff that we partner with.
Multicam hats.
Yeah, I have to get you in one of those, get you out. This is actually the original bike over here. Kind of see how far things have come.
Oh,
This is actually kind of similar to yours.
yeah, mine was a little more modern than this, but
similar. Yeah, yours was actually kind of the evolution of this design, and so this is about 15 years ago, and back in 2005, 2006 when we first started selling these things, and you can see just how much nowadays frame design has totally changed, suspension is totally different, wheel size is totally different. Drivetrains, you know, we used to have like triple chain rings up front and
geometry, sizing, everything's been stretched.
Yep. So we're always trying to innovate and make sure that the ride quality gets better and better. And if we keep making better bikes, people keep buying them, right? So
yeah.
So we got the road bike here too, and same thing. You can tell just the frame design and geometry. This was very first. This is our first carbon bike actually.
Okay.
And so. Carbon, there's two main materials that we use in the industry, aluminum alloy, which is strong light metal, and then carbon fiber, which I'm sure you have in a lot of your different gear and stuff like that, and it's just lightweight, very strong. Both are very nice. They just each have their own purpose. So this is some of the stuff back here. We'll take you over around to where some of the magic happens. Back in here, this is our service desk, and where a lot of, we do local bike deliveries, and as well as, like we were talking about, tune-ups and things like that. So all of these bikes are bikes that customers need to pick up here.
Okay.
And so we've got two main areas. This is where the team, we take all of the customer's body measurements. So we look at things like height, weight, torso length, shoulder width, inseam, arm length, ride style, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll customize the components and build each bike up from scratch.
Okay.
Make sure that it's perfect for them. So we stage the bikes here. We get them all built up most of the way, and then we send them over here. And this is where they do all the final tuning. A lot of our team here trying to get bikes out. The big issue that, as you were saying, Mike, that we're going through, and the whole industry and world is going through, is supply chain issues right now.
And increased demand, I guess, is just
huge demand and huge delays. Which we've been. It's been a great year, and it's also been a tough year as far as great that so many people are getting into biking, tough to deliver because most components are back ordered 6 to 12 months right now.
Yeah.
And so we order all the components way in advance, and we're barely getting components that we've ordered months ago. They're showing up, and we're building it out and getting them out the door as quick as we can to our customers. And then our team here, we're just kind of waiting for more components while our product team is doing everything they can to get stuff here or swap components for equivalent or better value components where possible and get bikes to customers as soon as we can. So it's been kind of a crazy year on that side.
Yeah, a little bit frustrating, I'm sure, for you and some of the customers that are like, why does it take 3 months to get a bike?
I know.
Yeah.
It's luckily though it's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of our fine tuning and stuff, and then they'll put them here when they're ready to go, and we'll get them packaged up, and then these are bikes that are shipping. So it kind of feels like this big circle here. Okay. So then these are bikes that are going out the door, and then so our team is, we call this whole area the machine. As long as we can get components and feed the machine, these guys are masters of their craft and build and are meticulous with the quality and attention to detail. Cam's one of our master technicians here.
Hey Cam.
And this is what a work order looks like when we are about to build someone's bike. So you can see their body measurements there. Kind of cool. All sizes of different stem lengths and angles and all sorts of stuff. So that way we can make sure that the bike is perfect. A few things. One of the questions is like, well, what can you even adjust on a bike? Because isn't it just two wheels and handlebars basically, like, you know, in a frame? So what we look at here, and our focus and what we do is we manufacture and design our frames, right? And we have a bunch of different frame sizes that are proportional to each other, depending on the rider size. But then we look at things such as stack height, stem length, stem angle, even handlebar width, even kind of hidden behind here, crank arm length, suspension setup, seat post length, all that kind of stuff. So that way the bike fits each person perfectly. Also backed by a 30-day lever to return it guarantee. So it's like, look, don't take our word for it. If it doesn't feel right, you know, send it back. We'll give you a full refund. So we're confident that they'll love the bike.
That's awesome.
So this is where we store a lot of the components. And when we say we're sold out of stuff, this is the, the issue that we have. So we are down to just the bare bones on parts and things. And so usually what we do as parts come in, we can fill all these racks up when parts arrive, and then our team can get, it's almost all pre-sold, like for like the last year and a half, and for the next quite a while. Everything that goes in these racks, 90% of it's already committed. Our team builds it, and then it's just waiting for more parts to show up. Kind of crazy to...
A lot of empty shelves.
Yep. So, there we are. So,
howdy. Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Ian, pleasure to meet you, bud.
Nice to meet you too.
We just had a last minute arrival on an upgraded post that we wanted to do with you to have kind of that same matched coating through all of your suspension. So I just got that all in. Your bike's all up front and ready to go, bud.
Oh,
should be set up
man.
for your weight and everything like that. So
Awesome.
We're gonna have to be careful with where we point the camera up in here, because a lot of this is all proprietary and upcoming projects that we're working on. So
Okay.
all
Like the secret place?
yeah, this is the secret place. Ferzari is actually built on the family farm. So this silo here, this was almost literally sitting in this exact spot where we had all of our horses and stuff, and we still got some horses in the back. So we try to pay homage to our roots and where we've come from, and it's kind of a mix of retro and modern, right? So
Yeah.
it's cool. So in here, this is where we've got a lot of our industrial design work and a lot of our engineering and stuff happens in here. So on all of our frames, what we do to make sure that they're perfect prior to opening up, especially a carbon mold, opening up a carbon mold is super expensive. Per each frame, we have these massive iron molds that we fill in with our carbon and everything, and if it's off by a millimeter, the whole thing we have to restart over, and it's a huge number one time waste, but also investment. So we want to make sure it's flawless before we get to that phase. And so how we do that is we 3D print all of our frames. So this is a plastic, and we are able to print all of our frames to scale exactly per our measurements and everything. And then we assemble them up just like a real bike. They're not rideable, because they're just lightweight plastic, but what that helps us do is make sure, okay, if we install it here, is the rotor gonna rub, or is the angle how we want it to be, and is everything perfect? And we usually go through several iterations on the 3D print models until we say, okay, we're 100% comfortable, and then we open up the carbon molds. And even before that, everything starts off with an idea. It's like, what problem are we trying to solve in the industry, right? What is the bike supposed to do? How are we going to make this bike perform exactly the way we want it to and be the best in its class? So we go from the craziest designs, and the cool thing is we want our creators and our engineers to think outside the box. A lot of times, something like some of these drawings, it's like, whoa, that looks sweet, but is it practical, right? Is it functional? Is it going to deliver and perform over time? And our philosophy here is usually a product is complete when we can take away as much of the excess stuff as possible and just get down to the meat and potatoes, the basics of what works and what's gonna perform and last for a long time, and that we can back with a lifetime warranty.
So if you ever come in the front door and you're like, I wonder what's going on in the shipping containers up there. That's this.
Yep.
So this is it. This is the first time seeing it. It's beautiful.
she's gorgeous.
I like it. It's the best looking bike in here. By a little bias.
Pretty easily, but mine's not here today. Yeah, no, just the couple touches and options really do elevate what's already an amazing platform. So you're looking at, your upgrade is going to the Fox Performance suspension. What you're getting with that is stepping up to the highest level. They have their hardened Kashima coating. It's also hydrophobic, helps shed dirt, water, keep your suspension running smooth and clean. You kind of want that really nice buttery feel throughout all of your travel. Really cool thing on this bike is that we're now running the Shimano EP8 motor.
Yeah.
Always a super awesome platform, but now they've stepped up. It's got something like a 20% increase in torque output, so from 70 newton meters to 85 now.
Yeah.
So you just get a little bit more oomph with it, as well as still seems to keep a lot of its battery efficiency. So
It's actually almost 20% more efficient with battery juice too.
it's wild. Yeah, I think a lot of that has come from their user interface as well. They've developed the Shimano E2 project app, so you can connect the bike to your phone and have a ton of awesome customization features. So you've got your 3 riding modes, kind of eco, trail, boost, stepping up, and you can tailor each of those.
Appreciate Ian. Ian was the master on building this whole thing up, so
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No,
great work.
really fun projects. We do, when we get a chance to do fun stuff like that, we'll do other little touches like, you know, heat shrink, cleaning up the cabling. And, well, hey, thank you so much for the project. I'll talk to you a little bit later, bud.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one, Mike.
Turned out beautiful.
Appreciate it.
What we got on this guy, as Ian was talking about, the best of the best Fox suspension. You got the best Shimano motor. You got the new Shimano XT 12-speed drivetrain. So that is just going to be crisp, efficient, smooth shifting. It shifts really well under load. So especially as you're riding with the extra torque of the motor, it shifts very, very well. Powerful hydraulic disc brakes with oversized rotors. So as you're riding this bike, what's really cool is the wire peak in general. We wanted this bike to be a high performance mountain bike first that just happens to have power, right? A lot of e-bikes are kind of built around the motor system, and then it's like, cool, it's got power, but it kind of rides just a little bit sloppy. We worked hand in hand with Shimano in motor rotation so we could get the rear triangle shorter. So on frame geometry, we're looking at things, kind of touching on that a little bit more. The rear triangle, which refers to the seat stays and the chain stays right here, there's a balance. A lot of times in the industry they've been pretty long, and so it feels like you're almost driving a bus down the hill, and it's kind of, you have to take wide turns and things. So in working with component suppliers and things, we've been able to shorten the rear triangle so it tucks up the rear wheel up underneath your center of gravity more, so it's going to be more agile and playful and easy to maneuver. We've lengthened the front triangle a little bit, so that way it provides a little bit more room in the cockpit, kind of like you're saying, to where you want it to be comfortable but still playful and easy to handle. The head tube angle, we've also slackened out on this a little bit, so you can run a longer fork, and with that slacker head tube angle, bringing that front wheel out in front a little more is going to provide more stability and confidence as you're going down the trails and hills. Couple that with our steep seat tube angle. So a lot of seat tube angles on many bikes have been kind of slacker in this area. In bringing it steeper, imagine walking upstairs like leaning back. It just feels really weird. So we wanted to rotate it so you're sitting more on top of the pedals and you can really stomp and engage your glutes, quads, and hamstrings better. And so you get a lot more pedal efficiency. So a lot of stuff goes into it, and all those numbers and all those angles don't even matter if the suspension isn't tuned properly, right? You can have a perfect geometry, and then the shock just act like a pogo stick. And so all these linkages and everything, and this goes back to the design stuff that we were looking at. We measure all the kinematics and anti-squat values and suspension setup on it, and we go through iteration after iteration on different suspension tuning to make sure that this thing rides like it should. So a lot of people kind of think, oh, e-bike, you're just going to throttle it up the hill. It's still a bicycle, so it's pedal assist. So as you're pedaling, the system responds accordingly. If you're pedaling hard, it will respond, and then you can adjust how much assistance you want. So
yeah, motor doesn't kick on at all until you actually start giving it input yourself.
Yep.
And then when it's off, it's just like riding, people call them different things, analog bikes, acoustic bikes, non-motorized bikes.
Yep.
So you can ride this thing just like a regular bike. Granted, it'll be a little bit heavier than a regular bike, but
yep,
if that's your thing, you can do that too.
Yeah, definitely not as fun riding when it's turned off, but but the cool thing is if you're at a bicep curl this bike, it feels a little heavier because it's got the motor and battery, but when you're pedaling it uphill, it feels like the lightest bike you've ever ridden, right?
Yeah.
So the weight distribution, we wanted it to be very low, so it doesn't feel top heavy at all. It's the low center of gravity and weight distribution on it. Like I say, it almost feels more confidence inspiring on a lot of chunky descents because it's not skipping around as much. So
yeah,
it doesn't replace a conventional lightweight mountain bike. They're just two different sports almost, right?
Yeah.
And so they each have their own touch and feel.
I love the color too. This is the first time seeing it in person. It's like a matte olive. It's got more like there's a color that those in the tactical industry know. This is like a foliage green, really, is what it is. Which I've been really coming back on loving foliage. This is kind of what I want to paint one of my Land Cruisers. Maybe, I don't know. But man, it's beautiful.
I think the number one, we haven't built a bike like this before with the orange lowers. I think it's got a cool look to it because it's got a very stealthy look, and then the orange kind of has that outdoor kind of safety feel to it.
Yeah, it gives it that kind of
And then
pop.
the Kashima coating here matches a lot of the just subtle accents, the bronze accents on the frame.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice these bronze accents in the photos, but it does really pull it all together. You were talking about earlier how you love the OD and the bronze.
Such a good accent with bronze.
Yep.
It's sweet.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Half the
Thank
battle
you
is
so
looking
much.
good, right? So
It's the most important
if
thing.
it
is
looks
looking
legit,
cool.
you feel legit, right? So it's awesome. But yeah, it's our pleasure. Time for you to hit the trails on it.
Yeah, excited to take it out, man. And nice and close here. This is the best part, right? I love it, man. Hey, so we left Ferzari, and then now we're actually at Cool HQ. So I know some guys over here, so we're gonna stop in. I think they said they got some great lunch. So get some food and check out some products.
This food looks good.
Yeah.
You guys like dark chocolate?
Oh, I love these. We cannot get enough of these when Johnny sends them out.
I'm always getting a shot.
So we're here at Cool HQ, really cool operation they have, and we're just talking with them about everything, processes and stuff, and they have actually 3 full-time chefs, so we just got like a gourmet meal, and then we're gonna check out some stuff here.
Dude, it was was the
Lost his
World War
hat.
II, German motorcycle, and they sent the original casts and everything and plans to the Russians because they were all partners, or they were allies in the war, right? So the Russians started building this thing and have continually built it. This is since World War II. Yeah. And then they also supply other NATO troops, I think, and other military troops because it has the rear drive, both tires. You can engage both wheels on the back, so it sort of becomes like this. Right way this time.
It's too bright. It's too bright. I'm pretty bad at checking in on camera, trying to do a road trip vlog, but we left Cool like 8 hours ago. We're in Cheyenne, Wyoming, kind of like downtown, and it is 8:30, so we want to stop for some dinner. We got about 2 hours left of the drive, I think. So we're gonna go get some dinner. I'll probably just update you later whenever I'm home and stuff. So give you an update on everything. Okay, see you, Danny.
Oh, see ya.
Shiny box. Living the good life. The chicken fried steak. Cajun corn.
Okay, so I hope you liked it, and it's just, again, I like to kind of do these trips personally, and I feel like I should document them when I do them, but at the same time, I'm not that great at documenting them when I do them. But I have these relationships with companies and kind of some unique opportunities to kind of see the behind the scenes stuff, and that's very fascinating and very interesting to me, and I feel like it is to at least some of you guys, so I hope you enjoy that a bit. But always looking for your feedback as to like, what companies you would like me to visit that I either have a relationship with or could probably make a relationship with, and what you'd like to see when I'm out there, because these ones I just kind of randomly grab a camera sometimes when I'm doing this stuff myself. I'm not very good at this YouTube thing. But let me know down below any of that kind of stuff that you're into. And then also real quick, because I mentioned it briefly earlier, but I know people will ask, so Fieldcraft Survival, they're friends of mine, Mike Glover, personal friend of mine, awesome dude, love him to death. They recently moved out and got a new headquarter out there. I was gonna try and work that into this trip, but with Danny visiting, he was kind of like visiting Colorado to hang out with me in Talon, not to do this road trip with me. So we just wanted to get back pretty quick. But I'll probably do another trip out there and do that, and probably do like a Fieldcraft tour. Maybe Mike will have me on the podcast again. I'm not really sure. And then my other buddy that's also out there that you guys love seeing on the channel is Jack Carr, former Navy SEAL, now New York Times bestselling author and stuff. Another really awesome dude who's out there. So I'll probably meet up with Mike and then Jack the next time I'm out. I'll try and plan a trip when they're around. So let me know what you would like to see in terms of that. We kind of did Jack Carr's EDC and his Land Cruiser, but he's a very interesting dude and we could do other videos together, as well as Mike Glover. And Mike Glover, both Mike Glover and Jack Carr are two dudes that are like much more accomplished in life, much cooler in life, but they're very similar to me in a lot of ways. They like Land Cruisers, they like outdoor adventure, they like guns and tactics and all that kind of stuff. So I get along with them really well, even though I'm just like a little scrub compared to them. But let me know what kind of videos you might want to see with them, and I'll make it happen. Yeah, sweet. So again, huge shout out to Ferzari. Thanks for having me out, and everyone else that hosted me. And also big thanks to Pilot Flying J for sponsoring this little road trip. Awesome opportunity with them. All right, until next time, guys. Take care.